I think when I was probably like 13 years old, or 12 actually, I think. That's the first time that I heard Nirvana. And I was introduced to the world of grunge. And Nirvana led to like Alice in Chains, and my brother actually introduced me to Alice in Chains when, he heard that I was listening to Nirvana. Then my bhabhi, she introduced me to Pearl Jam, and then I really just went in like any teenager would when they first listened to like grunge and Nirvana. And I think the first person that I ever idolized was Kurt Cobain, actually, if I recall. And then Soundgarden came, and then Chris Cornell was really my introduction to him was a little late, unfortunately. I heard a Billie Jean cover of him, and then I was like fully in it. And every day, this is also when I was just learning the guitar, bilkul matlab naya. So every day I would be just playing Nirvana songs, and in my room, I used to have this one pod distortion, pod processor, actually. So it was this red, I forgot the model of it, but I used to plug it in, and I used to have these headphones because amp pe main laga nahi sakta tha distortion har waqt ghar mein, because everyone was always at home and they would have killed me. But I would just put that distortion on and just blast Nirvana all day, all night. I would come home from school, the first thing I wanted to do was just play the guitar. And I'd be screaming in my room. Maine headphones lagaye hote the because amp nahi hota tha, so my output was just the headphones. And I could only hear the guitar really loud, so I would have to scream and sing really loud to hear myself. Aur us waqt awaaz bhi nahi bani hui thi, kuch bhi nahi tha. So I was screaming and always singing negative creep god. I'm a negative creep, I'm a negative creep, I'm a negative creep. And then I'm screaming on Smells Like Teen Spirit, and then also Come As You Are, Memory. Just every song that I could, And then when Alice in Chains, when I came in with them, I was also always screaming, Man in the Box or Kabhi Pata Nahi Kya. So it was really all the time, just, pretty much that's what was going on. So that kid, who would just come back home, and this is pre me discovering Pink Floyd. This is when I was 12, 13, I think a year before I discovered Pink Floyd. That's when I was fully into grunge first. So I basically wanted to naturally be like them, make music like them, just scream all the time and everything. But then, things completely changed. I heard Pink Floyd and got to realize that pata nahi Pakistan mein iska kitna scope hai, kitna nahi hai. I think a lot of 90s kids, that's what they... any 90s kid who was into music and who liked rock and roll, whatever it was, whether they listened to metal or jo bhi, Metallica, ye wo sara, in Pakistan, we all grew up with this realization that, if we continue pursuing this type of music at our time, now it's completely different. Now it's not like that. Now you can. But, back in 2011, 12, 13, 14, you couldn't really pursue, it didn't make sense to pursue that music. But still, that kid within me, he's always alive. And the rage and the angst that I felt expressed through grunge music when I was a kid, and what I would feel in my moments of being misunderstood, in my moments of, you know, really not being able to find a space where I could feel safe, is where Nirvana saved me, is where I heard all of their music, and they really did save me. And that kid within me is still there. If you play any Nirvana song or any Alice in Chains song, I'm, it's gonna hit me like anything. I'm gonna go back in time, back to that kid. And the feelings I felt when I was that kid, like traveling, I went with my mom and dad in 2010 to the States. Or us trip maybe throughout, like the one thing that my parents hated with me that entire trip was that I just had my headphones in, and everywhere they would take me, Empire State Building जा रहे हैं भाई साहब ने, Nirvana, something in the way लगा हुआ है, underneath the bridge, और बस मैं full अपने zone में चल रहा हूँ कि I'm upset, I'm angry, and I ठीक है fit Empire State Building, and even though it's like I'm feeling nice, but I'm still like, that music just takes you to that space where, you let those feelings take over. So, whatever I felt emotionally within my soul as a kid when I would listen to that music is still what I feel right now. And I think one thing that I wanted to do with at least one song in this album was that I wanted to make it how I wanted it, like not necessarily how people would expect something from me, because when I discovered trap music, the one thing that was a common denominator for me personally when I discovered trap music was that it helped me. I was in my 20s, and it helped me express the rage of me as a 20-year-old, the same way that I used to express rage as a kid when I was 13 with Nirvana. So what was happening really was that I was somehow thrown back into time, and it felt like I'm discovering grunge again, except that it's not grunge, it's trap. But that common denominator of that rage being expressed through, like the 808s and through the really hard beats and through the auto-tune vocals that had their own texture, like it made me feel like, oh yaar, I'm feeling this feeling after such a long time. I haven't felt this feeling, like new music has not made me feel this way in a very long time. And I mean, I have to say, like, Travis is definitely one of the people who, like, if I was a 13-year-old today, I'm pretty sure that I would idolize Travis, or, because the energy that he has is the energy that I would feel. I'm not comparing like Kurt with him. I'm just like saying different times, different generations have different idols, right? So just like, I can definitely picture myself or understand the feelings of a 14 and 13-year-old right now who would look at Travis like that, because his music also has that feeling of angst and that feeling of rage and that frustration that's just being expressed through the production and beats and everything. And yeah, like these two brought together, like I felt that, okay, for me this is, like a discovery that through this music, and this is the sound that's prevailing right now as well, and this is making me feel what that music made me feel. And if I am not as close to that music right now, because उस time पे लगता था कि पता नहीं ये music चलेगा या नहीं, maybe I can channel some of the rage through this music that's prevailing right now in the pop culture. And so I kind of experimented with it and found my own voice and found my own colors and found my own just space in it, where I could also hold my own ground to some extent. And I think So Long Goodbye for me is a song that did that when the Kavali kicked in and kicks in at that point where the beat just, switches and what that makes you feel. I felt that. And a couple of other songs as well, like Chhad Gayi is, a song that does make me feel that as well. But with this particular album, I wanted to combine the traits of grunge with trap music in such a way that the feeling I felt as a kid, when I was 13 and I heard Nirvana, and I expressed rage through that, and the feeling I felt when I was 20, 21 or whatever, when I heard Travis and the rage I expressed through that, I just want to like bring that feeling together, and have elements of grunge, like have some guitars, and then have elements of like trap, which is like the 808s and everything. So I feel that the combination of these two, like something like, like grunge trap or like trap grunge or whatever you want to call it, it's something that is exciting me. It's making me connect to that kid. At the same time, it's making me feel, like I'm somehow like progressing in the soundscape as well, because it's not traditional, conventional grunge music. It has a twist to it through the 808s and through the beat and through the melodic structure. That's still, I feel like the mixture of something I've done in English and then the Punjabi kicking in as verses. So it's like hip hop, like meets rock, and it's not happening for the. It's been happening since a very long time. Like Linkin Park was one of the first few people. Not one of the first few actually, but for me, Linkin Park was the first band that I heard that incorporated these two elements, which was rock and hip hop. And I feel maybe that's something that I want to try with this, where the melodic portion of the song, the English part, is like, it gives you that feeling of like a conventional grunge or rock melody of some sort, and then the verses kick in and they represent some form of like trap that I've somehow grown into, you can say. So yeah, at the end it's just a question of it's making me feel happy because I'm connecting with that kid again. And at the end of the day, you really need to realize that the inner child that you have, we tend to forget that inner child as we grow up, and we think that the world's like this really serious place, or pata nahi kya ho jayega aur zindagi ko ab hame is tarah dekhna chahiye, whatever. But that's that's just, I did that for a while and I realized that's wrong. Because you have to understand that there's this hidden bliss and this magic that lies in living your life childlike. Alan Watts, someone that I really like listening to, and he said this as well, that live your life childlike, have fun with everything. So where I'm placed to question that, do you really think that this song has in it to work commercially in the market of Pakistan? Definitely not. So don't you think that you should change it and do something that would prevail here? Against that question, I think I would want to give in to listening to that inner child and that kid who just wants to have fun. It's important to be happy. It's important to feel true to your creation and feel like connected with it on the purest level, where there's no other thought that comes in your mind other than the fact that I love this. It's as simple as that. So I'm choosing to listen to that inner child and to serve that inner child, and not to serve the serious world that's out there, that tells you, hey, you can't do what you really want to do because it might not work out. Who knows who this thing connects with, in what way? your intention and the energy just needs to be pure. That's it. Yeah. So whenever I drop D on the guitar, I just, I'm bound to like play some Nirvana type of like thing. So initially I came up on the acoustic guitar, which was so it's very has a form of, for me, represents the feelings I felt when I was 13. So yeah. I'm pretty sure that I'm not gonna do it acoustic though. I might, plug in the electric and just figure out that how it's gonna sound, but sounds pretty good even over here. Trying to figure out the right tone for this. This is grunge, I want to make sure that there's that, the guitar tones themselves have like this angst, like they're not necessarily clean. There's this one tone in it that like makes it grunge, I feel, which is this character, which is this imperfect growl that makes the guitar a little, थोड़ा सा एक slanky सा कर देता है उसे, in a good way. Woo! I like that. I think I'm gonna record that for sure. Okay. There's something I hear da 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 da. That's what we're gonna go for. This earthing shit sucks, bro. The trick in this, as was mentioned, is that this world is gonna collide with, the world of trap. So if I was to cut out a loop of this, I don't obviously know how to beatbox, so I'm not beatboxing. I'm actually just figuring out that when the beat's gonna hit, how it's gonna sound. I like the tempo. Coincidentally, the tempo is 1-1-1. Is that a coincidence though? Most certainly not. I do believe a little bit in numbers. I don't know if it happens with you guys. I see a lot of 11-11s. I see a lot of 1-1-1. 2-2, 3-3, 4-4-4. Kadi de veke de gendi 4-4-4 lendi a dragon. So that's where it came from. So I do believe, in numbers. So yeah, 1-1-1 is a tempo. I like sometimes choosing an odd number for the tempo as well. People would, कुछ लोगों को OCD होता है, so they would go for 110 or they would go for 112, which, they'd be like 1-1-1 क्यों रखा है? But, that's what I like. It's a little off, like it's unlike 110 and 112. It's easy, This is like you're a little different. So anyways, so I'm just figuring out the possibilities for the beat. So we have the hi-hats not throughout maybe, Just the cat. I suck at beatboxing, but you get the point. 808's ka bas scene hai. So Logic has its own pretty cool, decent 808. It's nice. Just figure out the notes. This right now is just like taking me someplace, you know, like I'm feeling. I think it's called actually I want to put on some layers. Lekin those 808s, bro. Hell yeah. I see the end game, you know. I just know what we're gonna do. I like that. I think for starters, it's good enough for me to just move on because I really want to get those 808s in, bro. And get the drums in. Just war. This is like, you know, when you're about to just like begin, like when you're prepping for like a war, you know, it's that moment, like right before. I'm sure you guys are aware of the gladiator culture, you know, where, you know, the Roman Empire gladiators used to like fight for their lives in arenas for sport, but for them it was, you know, it was their lives. So it's like, if you imagine a gladiator, you know, and you just think that it's like his moment before he knows it's like it's certified death perhaps he's walking into, but with what mindset and with what state of mind is he going to step out, you know? Because for them, obviously, in those times, war and dying and giving your life on the battlefield was, you know, it was glory, basically. So I feel that, you know, it's like, if I picture this, it's like a gladiator just like prepping himself up for maybe what could be his last ever fight on this earth. I don't know. Something like that. Now, oof, I need that 808 back again, bro. We got a vibe again. Okay, so we have the 808s locked in. Another thing that I do here. So like with Storms and Serenity, I'd mentioned in the Bindi Hawa and Afterlife Wali videos that I want like really bright synths to come in, you know, so it's like I'm gonna have some fun. बहुत ज़्यादा crazy. I think that's what we're gonna go for. So just pretty much those two guitar layers and then this one synth. And we have the 808s and then the drums, that's it. Maybe one more synth, depending on the structure of the song. Like melodically, what I'm doing, what's happening, you know, if there's new information that needs to be introduced. Which is obviously going to be really bright synths once again. Kuki, it will be lead and this is like a synth lead right now. I do want for there to be like a chordal progression structure as well. That would probably be nice. So the hi-hats we have, I think I was like beatboxing something like just need a nice fat clap, bro. Interesting. Last thing that's left is the 808. Whew. I'm gonna just record mine. Oof. Bro, full तलवारें निकल रही हैं. Boy तैयार हो रहा है. Boy ने भी, like, he's just stepped out in the arena, the gladiator, and he's just about to like go off, bro. This is like, you know, that moment where you're just like looking at everyone and you're like, bro, I'm gonna kill each and every one of you, eat you alive. Oof, sound effects on it, Cat. Anyways, film बनाएंगे कभी जिंदगी में ये. If I ever make a film, bro, that's like gladiator based, please remind me to put this song in as a soundtrack for when he's about to step out for war. Okay, now we come to the songwriting. One time summer, summer July, I know that you. Summertime in July, I know that you wanted me, and I wanted you. Bro, what a weird, dark summer song for your summer love, bro. Oof. You know what I mean? We've all pretty much had, like, summer flings, you know? It's like you come back home, you meet someone, or you go somewhere and you meet someone. Pretty much the same. Happening all around the world at the same time, bro. How, you know, how weird is that? Not weird, but yeah, interesting summer fling song. I think the melodic structure that I'm trying to go for, the words that I'm trying to choose, you know, and the way I'm trying to sing this is kind of like in, I don't know, in like remembrance of, like, you know, that kid in that time who listened to that music, you know. Always wanted to make something like it, so, you know, this could be something that I've made that reminds me of, you know, reminds me of the kid I used to be who would listen to this stuff. Always a choice, you know, like right now I'm at that point where I have a choice where I can just discard all of this and think, you know, कि नहीं, यहाँ की audience जो है, like the audience in Pakistan, the audience in India, they're not really gonna, you know, like resonate with this. Like, what are they gonna think? Are they gonna like it, not like it, all of those things. But then I'll have to like change everything, you know. I do Punjabi, Urdu, whatever. Urdu खैर इस पे मुझे नहीं लगता होगी, अजीब लगेगी शायद. Maybe Punjabi. But it's like, you know, this is one of those moments where right now I feel like this is what I want to do. And then I would make a decision to not listen to what I want and to think about what people would want, and then not go with my instincts and defy them and go for something else. Would it be untrue to me? I guess so, because this is the first thing that's popping in my head that I want to do. But how do you, like, people say, you find a balance, but then again, like I told you guys, like I think, and I am in extremities. And this overall emotion, I think the entirety of this, it's very much in a certain, again, in this, like I'm feeling a lot of things. So I feel I want to stay true to it, do what I feel like doing on it. Do what that kid would want me to do, I'm gonna have you guys again come with me from this mic live in my vocal chain once again. And first, wait, hold on. Just 3, 2, 1, go. Summertime in July, I know that you wanna me, and I wanna you. By the end of July, I know you get rid of me, I'll get rid of you. Oof, bro. Bahala. It's like, weird, like, trap grunge with like auto-tuned vocals, but they're sung like that. And there's, in this particular chain, I still have, like, as usual, there's a tuner, there's a reductive EQ, then there's a compressor, another compressor, and then there's one bus that I've given that is a huge amount of flanger, and a little bit of chorus as well. So, but I've given them through the buses so that, it's not like way too in your face. But I felt that flanger on a vocal is pretty interesting. एक अजीब सा उसका character आ जाता है. I wanted the vocal to like keep, I don't know how to explain it, but like that's the sort of effect I wanted on my vocals. ऐसे एक चीज़ हो सकती है. I can maybe like bring in Punjabi थोड़ा सा आगे जाके, I don't know, interesting, जिस जावे मुंडा दिल करदा है रैक, जिस जावे मुंडा दिल करदा है रैक. क्या बात है जी. जिस जावे मुंडा दिल करदा है रैक. नहीं चाहना sex, I just want, नहीं चाहना sex, I just want my peck. We shall continue being a virgin. नहीं चाहना, जिस जावे मुंडा दिल करदा है रैक. नहीं चाहना sex, I just want her on my peck. जिस जावे मुंडा दिल करदा है रैक. नहीं चाहना sex, I just want my pecs. Yeah. Just to have a money that got a direct. Niggas on the sex, I just want my pecs. Carve Monday, carve to Giano, like carve to Giano. Carve to Giano, man, like a T-Rex. Carve to Giano, then like a T-Rex. I don't know. I'm just like playing around, but possibility here, bro. Whereas I'm thinking, instead of starting the song with, the summertime is July, if we start it with the scream, which is the yeah, it's बहुत higher, but I think it's gonna sound pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take you guys yet again in the box with me in 3, 2, 1, go. Nice.
So the time that you wanted me, now wanted you. By the end of June, I know you get rid of me. I get rid of you. Call me out from the outside. You've been missing me, been missing you. Where time you realize that you completed me, completed you. Can you take away memories?